How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another spellbinding, catastrophic, amazingly awesome, fucking stupid ass Two Nerds a podcast. I'm Buddy the Bruiser.
And I'm Dynamite Jared. And what's up?
What's up with you?
Nothing.
What is up with you?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Just scarfed down like 7 tacos.
That was four.
Four?
Tacos, yeah. So anyways, that was a hell of an intro that you did. I don't even know how. You shouldn't have hyped us up that much because I can't live up to that.
No, not at all. Can't live up to the hype in the slightest.
Anyways, let's just get right to it. You said you have a lot of shit to talk about, and you've been wanting to talk about it for like 2 weeks now, so I'm going to give the stage over to you.
Well, let's start with the other news in the world before we get to the main course here. We just watched the Baywatch trailer. Starring The Rock and Zac Efron, comes out next year. Zac Efron comes out next summer, I'm assuming. Jared, what do you think of the trailer?
I thought it was funny. The Rock is really, I'm not telling anybody anything new, but The Rock has really come into his own as like an actor over the past few years. So I don't know, man. It seems good. Zac Efron is really
Ripped.
fucking ripped. Like, I've never seen someone that ripped. But yeah,
He's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist.
yeah.
In the
he
movie.
looks like one.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that he went through some fucking crazy strenuous, thank you. Strenuous ass training to get in shape for this movie because he looks better than his body looks better than I'd say Christian Bale in American Psycho, and
Yeah,
we know
probably.
what he went through to
Yeah.
get in shape for that movie. So The Rock obviously always
He's
jacked.
He's actually a lot leaner in this than he usually is. I think he got down to like 225 or 230.
Oh Jesus, 225.
Well, he's usually
That's
260.
actually only 10 pounds more than me, but
I can tell you guys look very similar.
it's
You
true,
and
yeah.
The
We
Rock
have
and that
very
trailer.
similar builds. So, what did you think of the trailer?
I thought it looked good. I'm usually not the type of person who laughs out loud at trailers, so I didn't laugh out loud at this either. When I see the movie, I'll probably laugh at some of the jokes and stuff. I try not to get myself too hyped over things because I usually get really disappointed. But yeah, it looked good. I'll definitely be checking it out when it comes out. I try to see everything The Rock's in as of his recent years. I haven't seen a lot of his older stuff, but
Did you see Doom?
I've not seen Doom.
Keep
Have
it that
have
way.
not seen Doom. I kind of want to see it just for curiosity's sake.
That's bad. How about? Did you watch Faster?
No.
No. I think that's really the last movie with The Rock that I actually saw.
You didn't see San Andreas?
No, I wanted to, but I didn't.
Tis,
Is it good?
I mean, it's all right. I mean, it does its job. Central Intelligence also does its job. One is a stereotypical, not apocalypse. Well, I guess it's sort of apocalypse to California because they're all gonna fucking die, and then the other one's just your stereotypical comedy. But they both do their jobs fine. The Rock was
And there's no Grand Theft Auto crossover.
no,
Okay.
no, and The Rock was incredible in Moana as well. But I know Jared has no interest in seeing children's movies.
Yeah.
So
I might go see it, maybe, if I get bored enough. Anyways, that wasn't the only trailer that came out. If you can, that was, by the way, that Baywatch was a teaser trailer.
it was a teaser trailer, but it was
according
2
to
minutes.
The Rock.
It was 2 minutes
Yeah.
though, so that's more like a full-length trailer if you ask me.
It was 100% a trailer. I think that they called it a teaser because it was the first thing that came out.
Yeah.
for
So,
that.
so what's the official trailer going to be, like 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Like the whole they just upload the
10-minute
movie.
Red Band trailer with The Rock like fucking every girl that's like in the cast. So then an actual teaser trailer dropped yesterday or today or something. I think yesterday. Spider-Man Homecoming. This is like fucking literally 15 seconds. but we do get a look at the Spider-Man outfit. And did you even peek at it a little bit at all while I was watching it?
I saw like a second of it. Your shoulder was in the way.
I saw John Favreau or whatever. I think that's
Your
his
boy.
name. Yeah.
Your fucking boy.
Fucking asshole guy. The guy that's a really huge asshole from fucking I Love You Man.
Fucking wants to be the ultimate fighting champion.
Oh yeah,
And
and he wants to be
Fr-
the ultimate fighting champion in Friends. He's directed Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 1 and 2. He directed the new Jungle Book. He's going to direct the new Lion King, supposedly. And he directed and was in Elf. He was the doctor in there.
Okay, so very decorated.
He's a very...
Jon Favreau's much more decorated in
Than
Hollywood
most.
than I thought he was. But so the trailer, it's 15 seconds. It is what it is, and it's weird. It's most of it's kind of like, except for like one shot, I think most of it is like some sort of found footage weird thing. Like Spider-Man's wearing like a fucking GoPro everywhere that he goes. So
They're
I don't
doing
know
this
how
like
I feel-
Halloween Resurrection.
Yeah, I
Or,
don't
hold on,
know
what
how-
was that movie that came out earlier this year? It was like Hardcore Henry or something, where like the whole movie is first person.
Oh yeah. I didn't see that.
I didn't see it either, but I heard it was getting a lot of buzz because of how it was shot. But I was like, I don't want to watch a first person movie the whole time, so did not see it.
Is it all in like one take?
I don't know. It might be. I'm not sure. I mean, it's not all in one take. They probably made it so it looked like it was in one take. But again, I haven't seen it. I don't know. I don't know if it takes place within an hour and a half. Just one guy's hour and a half of his life. But
Probably just running through punching people.
yeah.
So yeah, that's all the movie trailer buzz I think we have.
Yeah,
Unless-
probably.
no news on King Kong's dick yet. We're
no-
still we're still on the front lines trying tirelessly, and it's just nothing's panning out. We've reached out to Peter Jackson. I think he's coming on the podcast here in a couple
Very
weeks.
soon, yeah.
So
Legendary Pictures still will not give us an answer.
yeah. But we're asking the hard-hitting questions, and we'll get the answer before
You know who I bet would know how long?
Sam Jackson.
Do you know who I think would actually know how big King Kong's dick is?
Who?
James Rolfe. I'm sure he's because that's like his favorite movie. I'm sure he's put in some sort of research to figure out the size of Kong's genitalia.
I mean, anyone that is a fan of King Kong wants to know the size of his genitalia. So, he's a huge fan of the movie. I'm sure he's done the research to find out the actual dimensions of Kong's undercarriage.
So yeah, if you guys are interested in learning about how big Kong Schlong is, we're actually starting
Hashtag Kong Schlong.
hashtag Kong Schlong. We're actually starting a GoFundMe to fund our research to figure out the size of Kong Schlong.
And the person that donates the most will get a plaster casting
Of Kong.
King Kong's schlong. So that'll be up shortly. That'll probably, what's the budget on that? Probably to send us out to Legendary Studios.
I don't know. I'm
in
thinking
Hollywood and like.
I'm thinking like 2 million might be a pretty modest.
It's like a good budget for it. We could with 2 million we could definitely get out to California and interview some of the people involved with this and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you got, buddy? What's going
Okay,
on?
so I actually played a video game for once, and the game I decided to play was Pokemon Sun and Moon. Because we talk all the time about how we're two nerds a podcast, but we really don't talk about games all that much.
I haven't really played many.
Yeah.
Loyally. Final Fantasy 15's out, but I'm probably not going to get it till Christmas. And by then, I don't think it'll be worth talking about anymore. but I'll be playing the shit out of it.
For sure. Isn't it true that you can take like selfies in that game with what are the giant birds called?
I don't
Do you know
fucking
what I'm talking about?
chocobos, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I haven't played it yet.
Well, I've seen a lot of the pictures online.
What my brother just told me is that you can buy the soundtracks of previous Final Fantasy games and listen to them as you drive around in the car.
Oh, really?
So that's kind of cool.
That is
And
pretty.
it's not buy it like buy it in the PlayStation Store with real money. You buy it with in-game money.
Okay. Well, yeah,
So-
that's. For a second, I was
For
like,
cheap too.
for cheap. That's good. I was like, I wouldn't
Like
want to.
100 gil, and if you play any Final Fantasy games, you know you could probably kill like one monster, maybe two monsters early in the game, and you'd have 100 gil.
Yeah, it's like
And
fucking
so, like,
in Zelda, like killing like, well, not even killing, just like collecting like 15 or 20 rupees.
yeah,
essentially.
it doesn't really take that much time. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan of the old scores that they did on those Final Fantasy games. Nobuo Uematsu did
Yeah.
those. You know, if I know the fucking guy's
The
name,
composer.
it's like, all right. So yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's not big, it's not huge news, but it's kind of cool that I could like listen to.
I mean, I'd headbang to like One Wing Angel, just like driving around.
There's do you know the song in Final Fantasy X? The last boss fight where it's
I mean,
like,
I don't know I don't know the name of the song,
but it's like that super heavy fucking
Yeah,
song.
yeah,
Dun, dun. Wow, dun, dun. That's on there. Final Fantasy X soundtrack. I think they have the soundtracks for everyone. So,
even the ones that didn't come out in America.
well, they're all out in America now.
I didn't know
'cause
that.
Final Fantasy 3 came out on DS.
I did not know that they.
It's
ported
like an
those.
updated version.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not
obviously.
The
Yeah.
actual like 8 or 16-bit version or whatever that is. It was like a 3D version of it, but a remake of Final Fantasy 3 came out in the US. So, yeah. I'm sure the soundtrack is generally the same.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Obviously not 8-bit, but they've beefed
Updated, but
Yeah.
still like the same compositions.
for sure.
All right. So, anyways, Pokemon Sun and Moon,
So, what was the last Pokemon game that you played?
Silver.
Silver. So, well, the last one I played before this was
But I beat Gold before that.
like the last ones I played before Sun and Moon were Ruby and Sapphire. So, we weren't that far off.
What? Those are right after Gold and Silver.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I stopped paying attention. at
So,
a certain
you
point.
obviously played Red or Blue, right?
Red and blue and yellow.
And Yellow.
Yeah,
So you were a fan back in the day.
I was a huge fan.
So, in the words of Ricky Pizer, if you didn't own a Pokemon game in 3rd grade, you were a joke. And
was
still
probably in,
still attest to
sixth-
that.
I was probably like 6th grade. When this
well, I know,
was
but you
going
were
on, but-
you were like older than
Yeah.
us.
but I still was playing my fucking Pokemon though. Trading with my friends, collecting my cards,
using
fucking-
link cables.
using link cables.
Did you
Someone was telling me the other day that like you could put your Game Boys next to each other.
Yeah,
and
you could do
trade with that.
I forget what the technical term for it was, but the Game Boy Colors had like these little boxes on the top, and if you like smacked them together like lightly, it would automatically trade one of your Pokemon with the other person, but you couldn't pick which one it was.
Oh,
So it was really weird. I only did it once, and
you lost your Charizard.
No, I didn't lose. If I would have lost my Charizard, I would have freaked out and then called my dad to pick me up from my friend's house. But
You would have fucking pulled the link cables out of your backpack. Like,
yeah,
we're doing it again.
do you remember they also had these Pokemon like photo things you could put in your Game Boy and like take a picture and then print it out on a Pokemon printer?
Vaguely remember that.
The 90s were a strange place.
So strange time.
Strange time. It's a strange place too.
So
So the original Pokemon games, a lot of fun times were had. For those of you that haven't played them for some reason, I would say go play them. Still, even today, they still hold up. I think I played Red like 2 or 3 years ago again, and I was doing like a speed run of it, and it's still just as fun as it was. Probably even more fun now because I knew what I was doing instead of when I was a little kid and just fucking around.
You didn't know what you were doing? I guess you were younger than me.
Yeah, I was
But like,
1990.
I thought Pokemon was a really easy system to pick up, even young.
Well, in 1996 or 1997, I think is when they came out, and at that time I would have been 5 or 4. So
I'd say 97 in the States.
yeah,
But
so I
didn't
would
they
have
drop
been
in Japan like 95.
something like that, or 96. So either way, I was really young. So
God, 97 was great.
tell us a little bit about 97 because I don't remember it too much.
Well,
You
mean,
were like almost 10.
Yeah, almost. I'm just saying from a gaming perspective that 97
Was
was
that
great. It was like, I think it might still be considered one of the greatest years in video games. Ocarina of Time came
for
out
sure? Yeah.
after like the obligatory like 18 delays that Zelda games get. Ocarina of Time came out.
When was Final Fantasy 7? Was that 97?
I think that might have been 97. I can look it up. But actually I could just look up a list of video games in 97, but
97.
yeah, I know that it was like N64 was
96, but still a lot of
but like the great games like really started coming out and in 97. So let's see here. 1997 in video gaming on Wikipedia. Let's see, notable releases. Is that just the key there? So Final Fantasy 7 came out in January, and then it came out on Windows in 1998, but that doesn't matter. But yeah, so for PS1, that shit came out in 97. Mario Kart 64, Turok, let's see here, Tekken 3, Mega Man 8, let's see, Final Fantasy Tactics, Mega Man X4, GoldenEye.
GoldenEye, yeah.
Let's
Has
see.
not aged well at all, by the way.
Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, Ultima Online, which was like a huge deal back in the day. The first Fallout came out in 1997.
Really?
Let's see here. Grand Theft Auto, the first Grand Theft Auto came out in 1997. Mortal Kombat 4, Parappa the Rapper.
I actually saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot 2, I'm sorry. Tomb Raider 2, Diddy Kong Racing, that game.
That is a hell of a game.
That game's awesome. Let's see here. I'm skipping a lot of these that are like good games. I'm trying to like really stick in on the ones that are like absolutely amazing. Mega Man Legends, Yoshi Story,
Good game.
Gran Turismo. So I guess Zelda did not come out in 97, but
I think
so
Zelda
it came
might
out
have.
in 98.
It might have been. I know Majora's Mask came out in 2000.
Jesus Christ, 98 was good too. Look at this.
What's in 98? What's in 98?
Marvel vs. Capcom, the first one. Resident Evil 2. These are the first 3 games that were released in 1998. Marvel vs. Capcom, Resident Evil 2, Final Fantasy Tactics, I guess was the American release in 98. Let's see here. Gex, Enter the Gecko. You remember that shit?
I bought that game fairly recently, actually. They had it at like a exchange for like 50 cents, and I was like, I'm totally getting this.
A lot of these, I'm assuming, are coming out in the States in 98, because I see Yoshi Story here again. So, the first Tenchu game came out, and that was kind of cool when that first came out. Parasite Eve, StarCraft. Let's see here. Gran Turismo in America. So
97,
97 was a great year for video games. 98 was an amazing year
in
for
America.
video games in the States, because we were finally getting some of these great games that they were coming out with.
In 99 was good.
Banjo-Kazooie. Here's well,
Really, the late '90s, those last few years were just great for
Yeah.
games in general.
F-Zero X. You ever play that game? It's
No.
one of my all-time
I know
favorite
I know of it.
racing
Yeah.
games. Well, yeah, I fucking Captain Falca. Let's see here. So Mega Man Legends in the States, Metal Gear Solid.
The first one.
Yeah. Let's see here. Resident Evil Director's Cut, which is the version that most people ended up playing. Fallout 2, just a year later. Let's see here. Grim Fandango, which our buddies over at What's on the Shelf just reviewed that game. Said it was really hard. Crash Bandicoot 3. Let's see here. Where the hell is Zelda? There it is. But right before Zelda, we have Half-Life, Dance Dance Revolution, and then Zelda.
Dance Dance is really that old?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought that was a mid 2000s. That must have been when like the second came out and it got like really big.
Yeah. Let's see here. It's Tomb Raider 3. And then let's see here. Baldur's Gate. Mario Party 1 in 1998.
So Mario Party 2 must have been in 1999.
And then Sonic Adventure.
Sonic Adventure is a phenomenal game.
So. Yeah. Anyways. I didn't see. So Pokemon Red must have come out in 96 is basically what we got from all of that.
From all of that.
Yeah.
So the last half of the 90s were very good for games. Everything from Pokemon to the first Super Smash Brothers in '99. Lot of classic games.
Commercials for
where they're fucking in the costumes and they're walking in the field.
Costumes, they're all walking, having fun. All of a sudden, they just start beating the shit out of each other. Good times. I remember being so excited for that game when
that
I
was
saw
the game that
yeah.
when it was coming out. That's when I got my N64. That was the first game I had. And Star Wars Pod Racer, which came bundled with the console, which was also a good game, surprisingly.
Yeah. I remember playing Pod Racer in like arcades. They had that really cool cabinet with made it like you were actually in a pod racer. So, anyways, back to what you were saying about Pokemon.
So Red, Blue, and Yellow, and Green in Japan were the first in the series. Obviously classics. Then there was There's not Red and Silver. There's Gold and Silver. Then Ruby and Sapphire. And then after that, I kind of fell off the map. I know there was like Diamond and Pearl, and then Black and White 1 and 2, and then X and Y.
Did you ever play the Fire Red and Leaf Green?
I did.
Okay.
Did you?
No, I'd want to though.
I mean, they're good. I mean, it's the same game. It's just updated.
Updated, yeah.
And then at the
end, they add like the newer features too, or is it just updated graphics?
No, some new features. I mean, obviously you don't walk as slow anymore. Like you can run. Because honestly, the thing that like hinders you most in the original Red and Blue is you are so fucking slow. So it just takes so long to play.
Once I got my bike,
once you get the bike, but that's like at the third gym.
Yeah, but if you're good, you fucking fly through the first 3 gyms like
okay,
nothing.
so what would you pick as your starter?
Charizard.
You pick Charizard as
Charmander.
Your... There you go.
I mean, like, look, I'm just thinking of the end game here when it came to that. So
I would also always pick Charmander.
Blue though, I picked Squirtle. Did you ever run with Squirtle? Because I mean, Blastoise is fucking good.
I've played the original game all the way through probably about 7 or 8 times. Most of them with Charmander. I think I did it with Squirtle maybe 2 times. And then I think I did it with Bulbasaur like once.
I feel like I did it with Bulbasaur at least once too, but either that or I just caught a Bulbasaur and evolved it into a Venusaur.
Well, that would be in Yellow, where you get all of them.
Okay, so then that's when I did that then.
And you start with Pikachu.
Yeah.
I'm sure that sounds lovely in the mic. If you can hear it. Anyway. So basically, the format of these games are you are going out to be the Pokemon Master, and you.
Man, that's different. That's really changed.
Has it?
Yeah.
How do
I
you,
remember that like you specifically did not want to be the Pokemon Master when you started playing in Red.
really?
Yeah,
What did you want?
nothing.
Well, yeah, there's no story. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no dialogue in it, which they actually make fun of a little bit in Pokemon Sun and Moon because you run into Ash and Gary Oak or Red and Blue from the original games, and they chat. It's like one of the final battles. Like you have the option to battle either Gary or Ash, and like Gary's just like talking all this shit, and then it'll go to Ash, and there's just like 3 periods because like he doesn't fucking say anything, and then it does it like a couple times. He's like, "Why don't you ever talk?" But anyway,
So your main character talks in this?
no, he doesn't. But
Oh.
they're just poking fun of
Oh, okay.
the
yeah.
silent protagonist story arc, just like in Pokemon and in Zelda and stuff like that.
All right.
So, yeah, that is. I was going to get into this a little bit, but that is one of the big differences between the original game and this newest iteration. This one's story is fucking intense. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. For me, it kind of hindered the experience a little bit because when I play a Pokemon game, like Jared said, I just want to go out and fucking do it. In this game, I
I
seriously.
was being sarcastic, by the way. Obviously, you want to be the Pokemon Master.
Well, yeah, you do, but you don't have to sit through all these cutscenes. You just kind of go. Professor Oak gives you your thing. You have to go through the little tutorial where he shows you how to catch a Pokemon. But other than that, you're on your way. This one, you cannot do anything without there being a giant ass cutscene. Like, for a second, it felt like I was playing like Final Fantasy or something like that. Only I didn't care about.
How are the cutscenes? Are they anime or are they like just
They're like, I don't even know if you'd call it cutscenes. It's a lot of text.
okay?
Where like it goes away from like your gameplay angle and it's like a cutscene, but you have to like click through it. Like you know what I'm talking about? How it's
Yeah,
not like
yeah,
a
I know
it's
what
not
you-
like
I
a
know what you're saying.
cinematic
Yeah.
like cutscene. But yeah, there's a lot of those. I thought it really slowed it down. Like I think my playthrough of the game was about like 20 hours to beat it, but it could have easily been like half of that if it wasn't for all the cutscenes, I would say.
So what you're basically saying is that
Like,
there's
like-
10 hours worth of
Yes.
cutscenes in this game.
That's what it feels like.
Okay, well, all right. I don't
This-
know if
the-
I believe that.
The story is the most intricate story of a Pokemon game ever, and I really didn't care about the story. I just wanted to go and catch things and then beat the game. Another one of the biggest differences between Sun and Moon and the original is the elimination of gyms. There are no gyms in this game. How do you? I just want to get your impression of this before I
Do you
explain
not
it.
see my face right
Well,
now?
I see.
Like,
The audience can't see your face.
well, listen. What the fuck? What's the point? How am I supposed to become a Pokemon Master
Okay, so I'm getting to that.
without my badges?
There are no badges. What they do instead, and there's more than 8 of them in the game. They're called trials in this, where basically, okay, so like the layout of this game is based off of Hawaii. A lot of the older games were based off of Japan. So this one, there's like several different islands that you go through in the game, and basically each island you have to go through certain trials, and at the end there's kind of like a final boss like trainer that you have to beat, which I guess you could say is the gym leader of each island, but there's only like 4 of them. So what's in place of the gym battles is these trials, and all of them are different. It could be anything from going through this forest and finding specific items, or it could be there was this really dumb one actually where you're watching Marowak's dance, then you have to pick out which one is different. There's a couple others that are escaping my head right now, but basically each one is a different challenge that you have to do. And then at the end of the challenge, you face what's called a totem Pokemon, which is essentially like a boss fight, only it's like a super overpowered Pokemon that you have to fight. And then at the end, you get a Z Crystal, I think they're called, and it basically goes into this wristband you have, and with each crystal is based off a different type of Pokemon. So like there's a dragon one, there's a fire one, water one, all those. And what they are, they're essentially finishers for your Pokemon, or like a fatality move essentially. So you can attach it to your Pokemon and they do like a super ridiculous move. Like my starter Pokemon has a finishing move called Malicious Moonsault, where it seriously summons a wrestling ring, jumps on
I saw you post this.
jump on the tightrope. Your trainer does the Daniel Bryan yes, and then your Pokemon does a moonsault onto your opponent. So that's the main difference as opposed to gameplay in that. So how would you feel about that? Because you're a veteran and haven't played the newer ones. So how would you feel about that if you were to play it? I'm not saying you are, but like as a veteran looking at a new iteration, how do you feel about that?
Man, as the grizzled vet, I don't like it. But I mean, isn't that how it always goes? That's just like I'm old now, I guess. So like I don't think
I thought it was a nice change of pace because in the older ones, every gym is the same. You walk in, you'll fight like 4 or 5 trainers on the way in, and then face another trainer. At least this one had some variety, I think. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion. I thought it was a nice change of pace from the others. But how do you feel? Do you think it's shitty?
I don't like it. I just said I don't fucking like. I don't like it. I haven't played it, but I mean, it just
You don't like the concept
it
of
sounds stupid, and like now I'm never gonna fucking play it because I don't like that concept, and I think all the new Pokemon look stupid, man. They
Some
really-
of them do. I mean, every iteration, I think they get stupider and stupider looking. The starters in this, I think, are actually really good. I chose Litten, the kitten, in this.
all the stupid cute ones still kind of look like Pokemon, like the little ones.
There's
But all the big, like fucking like
there's seriously a Pokemon that's a sandcastle in this game, and I thought that was fucking stupid.
what's his name?
I can't recall off the top of my head. And it evolves into a bigger sandcastle. But yeah, there's some that are dumb, but none of them are as dumb as like I think it was like an X and Y or black and white. There were a couple Pokemon that were like ice cream cones, and there was like literally keys on a key ring was a Pokemon. So yeah, there've been some pretty bad ones before. Were you looking up the sandcastle thing?
Yeah.
What do you think of the sandcastle Pokemon?
I don't know. It's not the worst fucking Pokemon that
Well,
I've seen out of these. I
what-
don't like the big serious looking ones. Honestly, like I don't know any of their fucking names, but
Look up Incineroar. That's my final of my starter. That's what it eventually evolves into.
how do you spell that?
I don't know. Sound it out. Incineroar. Sins with a C, like incinerate.
Oh, let's see.
And Jared is looking up in Google Images a photo of Incineroar. If he can spell it,
I'm trying.
he's trying.
Does it involve from this incinerator?
What?
It says incinerator Pokemon. Here, I'm assuming that this is. I'm assuming that this is it. This kind of deal.
No, that's not it at all.
What is that?
That must be from another generation. This is Incineroar. Like, do you think that's stupid, or do you?
Yes.
You think that's
I
stupid?
think he's stupid.
Why is he stupid?
He just doesn't
He
look
shoots-
like a Pokemon.
He shoots fire out of his dick.
That's fine and dandy. I mean, I can do that too. So, I mean, what's special about that?
No, I was just asking. I didn't say anything was special. I just asked if you thought it was stupid.
I think he's stupid.
All right, all right. What's your favorite Pokemon? Charizard?
I'm
Mewtwo?
generic. Pikachu's my favorite.
Pikachu's your
still.
favorite.
Yeah.
I actually prefer Raichu to Pikachu,
You're a
surprisingly.
bitch. That's why.
Why? How is that a bitch move?
Pikachu, didn't you watch the show? Pikachu beat the shit out of Raichu after he got his ass beat first, but
Yeah, he did. Some of the other differences in this game that I'll just breeze through real fast. In the battle screens, like when you're picking your move, if you've encountered the Pokemon you're fighting before, it'll tell you what moves are effective or not effective and stuff like that.
that's cool, I guess.
So that helps you a little bit in the fighting. And there's some things in the game that it doesn't explain very well. And again, like some of this can provide a little bit of variety, but some of the evolutions are not straightforward at all. Because in the older game, the way you evolve Pokemon is you level them up
And they evolve.
and they evolve, or you give them a stone and they evolve, or in some cases you have to trade them. In this one, you have all those options as well. Only some Pokemon only evolve in certain areas, and it doesn't explain that to you. Pichu and Snorlax's baby form, they only evolve when you make them happy enough to evolve. So you have to like pet them and shit and fucking give them food, and like it's really fucking dumb.
What is this, Neopets?
Yeah, something like that. And then there's a Pokemon called Salandit, and it's like this it's a dragon, but it's a fire and poison type, and only the female evolve. So you could be leveling up a male version of it forever, and it just won't evolve until you get a female. And then the females are like a super rare spawn rate. So that's not cool, I don't think. I don't know, how do you feel? Do you think these are welcome for a new generation, or do you think they're trying too hard and making it shitty? Like, what do you think?
If it was like, I don't think that's shitty. That's fine by me, as long as it's like explained.
But it's not explained.
Well, then that's stupid. But like, if you had explained it in the game, like if you just go to like a Pokemon place, like up to Professor Oak or whoever the fuck is in this game.
The professor in this is fucking buff, by the way, and he's shirtless, and he's a fucking luchador on the side. He has like a mask, and he wrestles.
Okay, well, if you like go up to him and you're like, and he just suddenly, if he just tells you some facts, like, hey, only the female version of this Pokemon can evolve. Okay, cool. And not even something that like, it doesn't even have to be like, okay, you have to hear this at some point in the game. More like if you just kind of like, if you're the kind that likes to explore and walk around and talk to the townsfolk, one of them will tell you that. So then there's a way to find it out in the game without going online and looking it up.
Yeah, I had to go online and look it up. I mean, I don't talk to every single NPC, so maybe it's somewhere, and maybe it's in
I don't either, but I'm just saying that if it's out there, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
it might be in like a book at one of the libraries or something. Like, I don't know.
I'm sure if you got the new official Pokemon handbook, it would say in it that
yeah,
only
probably.
females can
Do they
evolve.
still make those?
Yeah, I just saw one in Japantown in San Francisco.
Oh, that's cool.
But it was weird though, because all the Pokemon were like out of order. I was on like page like 3,000
really?
and like fucking like Pikachu and Mewtwo and shit were just then showing up and stuff. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah.
But like, it was really frustrating. Fuck. It was frustrating for me because I had a Pichu and I had a Thunderstone, and as I said, I like Raichu. So I was just waiting for this Pichu to evolve into Pikachu, and this Pichu is at like level like 45. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why won't this evolve? So I had to like look it up, and it turns out I had to pet it and like feed it these beans and all this bullshit for it to evolve into Pikachu. And then it did. And then I have a Raichu. And speaking of Raichu in this game, they actually changed some of the types and designs of some of these Pokemon to make it area specific, as if these Pokemon have lived there for a while and they've adapted to their surroundings. So, like, for example, Vulpix and Ninetales are now ice types because in the game lore, they migrated to the mountains. Same with Sandshrew and Sandslash. They're also ice types. There's some others that have changed. Like, Golem has, like, a big mustache now and is a fighting type.
Like, that just doesn't make sense. I mean, I understand that, like, adapting to a certain environment.
Like, over centuries.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know if I buy into something like a Sandshrew or something even being able to survive in, like, a fucking icy environment.
But, I mean, yeah, I can get that. But now the Sandshrew, like, they look different.
That's like fucking putting... Oh, they look different now, but I'm saying, like, the first generation
yeah.
They would fucking die. Maybe not, but I'm saying, like,
but
if
what
you
about...
took, like, a fucking... Like, this is just an example. Like, a king cobra and threw it on a fucking icy-ass fucking mountain, it would die.
Yeah.
It would just die. It wouldn't adapt over... It wouldn't live long enough to make new generations that would adapt over time. They would just die because they can't thrive in that environment.
Yeah, if you threw a modern day king cobra in there, but I'm saying, like, We're on a whole different topic of fucking Darwinian evolution and shit. But like millions of years ago, some Sandshrews stayed there and some migrated. Say there's a common Sandshrew ancestor. Half of them went to sandy environments, half of them went to ice, and then over centuries they turned into an ice kind and like a sand kind.
I would be like a whole different like breed to me. Like I'd call it the ice shrew.
Let's call it an Alolan Sandshrew because that's where they're found. Like,
But there's no fucking sand.
yeah, I know.
Whatever, buddy.
But probably, I just wanted to bring this up because it's probably the most ridiculous of these. Doug Trio now has long flowing blonde hair.
Okay.
And it's really fucking ridiculous.
I'm okay with it.
You're okay with it?
Yeah.
Do you think it's sexy?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm looking up pics right now.
Goddamn. So that's about it about Pokemon Sun and Moon with the differences. Did you have any questions about the game that maybe the viewers might have questions about that I could answer?
Not really.
Not really.
It's a Pokemon game, but I need to go back and play Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Those I need to play. Have you played those ones yet?
I have not. There's also Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire as well, which are the remakes of those games. But yeah.
All right. Well,
I had some more, but if you're bored, I don't have to go into it.
I'm not bored. Just fucking talk about it.
Okay. All right. So, okay.
All right. Go ahead.
So I'm a big fan of like fan theories and like conspiracy theories and shit like that. The Pixar theory is one of my favorites. Have you heard about that one? I won't go in detail, but have you heard about the Pixar theory?
No.
Okay, so the Pixar theory is basically that all of the movies exist in the same universe and they're tied together through different things. It could honestly take like 2 hours to explain the whole thing. But it's basically all the movies are connected in some way. And Jared's moving around the microphone like an asshole. And
I'm trying to get it back here so I can lean back.
Okay.
Because it's fucking my back up.
So, as a fan of this, I was looking into some Pokemon theories because we were talking about Pokemon today. There's a lot.
I already feel like these are all, like, not true.
All not true.
Stupid, yeah.
Okay, well,
I'm
not gonna.
I remember some of the Pokemon theories from back in my day when the internet wasn't that popular.
Name a couple of them, and then.
Oh, man.
Because I'm not going to go in depth. Because there's one I want to go in depth about, but a lot of them I'm just going to like breeze.
I say I remember them. I don't remember them specifically. I just remember them existing.
Have you heard about because this is like one of the oldest ones, the one where you kill Gary's Raticate in the original games? Have you heard about that one?
No.
Okay, so how that theory goes is Gary Oak has a Rattata, and then it evolves into Raticate. And then you fight this Raticate on the SS Anne, which is your 4th battle with him, I believe. That's the 4th time you see Gary's on the SS Anne.
And you're fucking. His big thing is Eradicate. All right.
Well, it's not his big thing. It's one of his Pokemon. Yeah. His big thing is obviously his starter, which is the opposite of what.
Yeah.
Okay, so one last thing on Pokemon Moon and Sun before I start talking about this. You don't have a rival in this game. He's more or less like your little cousin who follows you around and is a piece of shit. And he actually picks the Pokemon that is weaker against your starter. So every time you fight him, you essentially just kick his ass. But at the very end of the game, after you beat the Elite Four, you fight the professor of this game who has the evolved version of the one that's super effective against you. So if you choose fire, he has a super strong water type. And this is the first time you fight him in the game, so you never see... Because I honestly wasn't expecting to fight him, and he just comes out and he's like, hey, I'm going to whip your ass with this fucking level 90 water Pokemon that you're not prepared for, and you just beat the Elite Four, so you're all weak.
Interesting. All right.
So how do you feel about having a quote-unquote rival who's way shittier than you the whole time?
And that's just a time waster. I don't know. It's kind of like Team Rocket in the show. In the games, Team Rocket was always like fucking serious business.
Yeah. In this one, there's
they
Team
showed
Skull.
Up, they were like fucking like, yeah, I just saw that. But like Team Rocket, like Jesse and James were like fucking.
In the show, they were comedic relief, but in the games, they were like
badass. Like once you got the Jesse and James, like they were that was serious business. Like the other Team Rocket, like the Team Rocket like goons, like weren't that
Yeah.
crazy, but like
And you're talking about Pokemon Yellow because that's the one that was based off the show, and that's the one that has Gary and not Gary. What the fuck are they? Jesse and James in it.
I swear to God they're in Red and Blue too. They're not big, but I swear to God they're. Or is that Butch and Cassidy?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think that might be them.
But anyway, so I guess I'll just talk about this Raticate thing a little bit more. So he has the Raticate after the 4th battle. He disappears, and he's only the only Pokemon that Gary has in the entire game that goes missing. And in the 5th battle with Gary, instead of having 6 Pokemon slots, he only has 5. So he didn't replace it with any other Pokemon. And the location of this battle is actually in Lavender Town in the Pokemon like graveyard area. So the fan theory goes is that you beat Raichu's ass so bad in Battle 4 that in Lavender Town, Gary was there to bury his Raticate, and then you fought him there with only 5 Pokemon. So do you think this is a good theory, or do you think this is complete shit?
I'm actually reading, so I didn't hear anything.
You didn't hear
just
anything I said.
Yeah.
Well, let me know when you're done reading about whatever you're... Are you reading about...
I'm reading about Team Rocket.
Team Rocket.
Yeah.
Well, the people out there, if you think this is a good theory, let us know. But it raises a lot of questions, like if Pokemon die, and it's confirmed like in the Pokedex that some Pokemon will eat each other, and Charmander almost dies in the anime, Doduo dies in the manga. So we have seen Pokemon death before, but we don't really, it's not really talked upon in the game at all. But I think this theory was debunked because of the level of the Rattata and the Raticate, because Rattata evolves at level 20 and his Raticate on the SSN is level 16. So, which means the Raticate must be caught in the wild, because you can't evolve it naturally until level 20. So the conclusion to this theory is that the Rattata that was level 15 and the Raticate that were level 16 were 2 different Pokemon, and Gary just lost interest in having either one of them, so he put them in his PC, even though he never puts anything else in his PC in the entire game besides those. So that's the theory. And he switches it out in that 5th battle. Instead of Raticate, there is an Execute, which is way stronger in all stats. So the theory just goes that he caught the Exeggutor and then put it in his PC, because Raticate's a piece of shit, honestly. So how's your reading been going?
I'm just reading something about. I hear that you're talking about Pokemon Life and Death, and I'm seeing when I'm reading up on Team Rocket and then the original games, there was something about a Marowak dying.
Well, yeah, that's part of the story of the first one. Marowak, what's Cubone's mother, and then you're in the Lavender Town thing, and then before you get to the end, you fight the ghost of Marowak's mother. Do you not remember that at all?
I vaguely remember it.
Yeah. So that's actually in the game. But
that's weird.
So that debunks the theory right there. Fucking Cubone's mother died. Right there. Pokemon can die.
Pokemon are fucking dead. I remember reading in the Pokemon handbook, though, that they can't die in battle. They just faint, and then they come back. So, like, maybe they could die of natural causes.
Or old age.
But, like, old age is a natural cause, buddy. So.
Well, no, that's what I mean.
But they can't die as a result of physical violence. Doesn't make any sense. If I cut a Pikachu's head off, he's damn sure gonna die, I think.
It just doesn't grow back.
Yeah, it doesn't just grow back. Maybe his tail, not his fucking head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not even saying that his tail would for sure grow back either.
Cool. I don't think his tail would grow back either. We can agree. We can agree. He's got a little nubbin back there.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of theories about Pokemon. There's one that like Jinx is racist and is blackface, and that's why they changed the color, like Mr. Popo, and that's why he's like blue now or whatever.
They changed Jinx's color?
Yeah, Jinx is. It's like It's still essentially the same thing, only it's like more purple than it is black. So Jared kicked the heater, so if it was loud, sorry. I said Jinx is more purple than it is black now.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of theories out there, like Pokemon like provokes violence and like all this bullshit. But
True.
the main theory I wanted to talk about, and Jared, no reading on your phone because I want to get your opinion on this.
Okay.
Something that we've tried to talk about on the show before, but then we bring it up and then we're like, fuck, we forgot to talk about it, is Pokemon Go. And we
I haven't played it in forever.
no one's played it in forever. But the theory,
It's still on my phone.
it's not on my phone anymore. But
I should delete mine.
But go because I've been talking a while. Go through the premise of Pokemon Go and how you play it.
Do I have to?
Yes.
Do I have to?
Yes.
Everyone that's listened to this knows how you play this game.
Just briefly.
You
'Cause
walk
I'm-
around,
because
you
I'm
find
telling-
Pokemon, you catch them.
Because I'm telling you a theory. But how do you catch the Pokemon?
You throw Pokeballs at them.
And there's no battles.
No battles.
There's no battles. So, a lot of people, when the game first came out, they thought that this was just lazy gameplay and they were just trying to make it easy for casual people to play, which is all true. I mean, that's a perfectly legitimate reason. But this theory claims that Pokemon Go is actually the earliest game in the Pokemon timeline. And you have a perplexed look on your face.
I guess that kind of makes sense since it's in our time, and like in Pokemon, some of the stuff is kind of futuristic. Like,
So here is some of the main points of this theory that Pokemon Go is the first game in the timeline. If I can fucking find it. So there's no weakening to kill Pokemon. There's no battling to level up. There's not even a complete 150 Pokemon to catch. And the fossil Pokemon you can just find in the wild, like Aerodactyl, Almanite, Amistar. In the games, they're fossils. In this, they're just out and about doing whatever. And there's also no legendaries, and there also, for a while, there was no Ditto. But Ditto's since been released, but it doesn't change the theory at all because the game has been out for a while, so Ditto has arisen since then. Because Ditto, and this is a theory within a theory, Ditto is supposedly false clones of Mew. Have you heard about this theory?
no.
Okay, so Ditto and Mew are the only Pokemon that no transform. The only places you find Ditto in the game are on Cinnabar Island, where they tried to clone Mew into Mewtwo, and where Mewtwo actually lives at the end of the game. Those are the only two places you can find Ditto, and Mew has DNA from all the existing Pokemon, and so does Ditto, which is why he can transform. So that's the theory. Dittos are failed attempts at cloning Mew. Can you get behind that?
As a theory, until it's
You don't buy
proven.
you don't buy it?
I'm not gonna buy it until it's proven. It's a good theory. Why you need to look at this as a scientist and not buy in completely into theories, because that's what this is fucking science. Pokemon is science.
Like King Kong's dick. It's
Yes,
it's
yeah.
all for science.
Yeah.
We can theorize all we want, but until we get the science and donate to our GoFundMe, we need to figure this out. But anyway, and also Gen 2, it was just released, so that gives us a scope that well,
Gen 2's
I
out
think
now?
I think it is in like Japan maybe,
Okay.
but they're about to release it here. So that gives us a sense that Pokemon Go is progressing. It's not just like the same thing.
Well, okay. First off, here's something that debunks your theory. Even though I was going to call it out anyways, I don't think that not being able to battle your Pokemon has anything to do with timelines.
I'm getting there. Let me finish the theory,
But,
and then you
alright,
can
alright,
debunk it.
Well, if you're getting there, still, this will debunk it right here. If Gen 2 is coming out, by the time Gen 2 was out in the original fucking timeline, you were still battling Pokemon way before
but
that.
here's the thing. Gen 2 isn't necessarily further in time. It's a different region. So those Pokemon are specific to that region. It's not...
So you're saying that since they're all in one region now, this is before they got divided somehow then?
Well, maybe not before how they got divided, but just let me get a little further into the theory, and then you can shit talk it all you want because it'll be entertaining. So also in Pokemon Go, you use a raspberry to catch Pokemon, similar to how in the Safari Zone in the original games, you have to just catch Pokemon. You're not allowed to battle them. And the premise of the purpose of the Safari Zone is to restore Pokemon catching to the way it was, which is similar to Pokemon Go, where you don't battle. It's all natural. You just have to use fruit or whatever to get them. And Jared is doing some weird shit. Okay. Anyway.
Do they actually say that in the Safari Zone?
Yeah. And then, let's see. You can't teach your Pokemon new moves because TMs and HMs haven't been invented yet. There's no badges. There's no traditional gyms. It's basically just like fighting in these gyms. There's no gym leaders at all.
There are gym leaders.
And
it's whoever's the strongest.
Well, it's whoever's the strongest, but there's no designated gym leader. It's not formalized, is what I'm saying. And one of the biggest things is that rare candies are not rare in this. They're just candies. And that's what you use to level Pokemon up. And that's what you use in the other games to level Pokemon up.
No mention of any of the technology or anything that's around in Pokemon.
What do you mean?
In the fucking Pokemon games, they have like crazy fucking like Pokemon centers.
Okay, but that's not yet because there's no Pokemon centers in Pokemon Go.
I know.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. There's no mention of that in the theory. There's no mention of the Pokemon centers.
Yeah.
Or just any of the technology that they use.
Yeah. So it's safe to
the only technology that is like
it's
futuristic in Pokemon Go is a Pokeball.
Yeah. So again So you're saying that perhaps Pokemon centers and all that stuff haven't been invented yet.
Yes.
Which leads into the theory. Okay.
I'm saying, yeah, like, and that like this takes place in like kind of our world, right? In our timeline.
Yeah.
Pokemon Go does. And it's like there's still things I feel like in the Pokemon anime or in the games that are like kind of futuristic that haven't been invented yet in real life. I can't think of anything right now besides the fucking thing where you put your Pokeballs on in the Poke Center and it just fucking heals them.
And again, with the candies, this is another thing that like ties into the theory within a theory is the way how do you get candies in Pokemon Go?
I can't remember.
You get candies in Pokemon Go by transferring them to Professor Birch, and he gives you a candy.
One candy.
So the theory...
You also get 3 when you catch a Pokemon.
Yeah. So the theory is that these candies are the Pokemon ground up into candies. And it was deemed...
I saw an Oni cartoon about this one.
Yeah. So then, in Pokemon Red's time, that's illegal. So that's why the candies are rare candies, and you can't buy them in a store. You can't get them by any way than finding them like on the ground because they're illegal.
Yeah.
So can you buy into that? Kind of.
Maybe.
Maybe.
As I said, I'm not buying into anything until it's been proven.
Okay.
Until the creator of Pokemon comes out and says, "Yeah, that's exactly what the fuck happened."
And there's also couple other points to this theory. One is Professor Birch in the game is extremely similar to Pokemon. To what's the gym leader's name? I have it written down. Professor Birch is really similar to the gold gym leader Price in Pokemon Gold and Silver. They have essentially the exact same design, same hair, and it looks like an older version. And in the game, Price says, "Willow is my middle name," for no reason whatsoever. And then he even calls you on your phone, because you have phones in Gold and Silver. He calls you and says, "My middle name is Willow." So they're saying that Professor Willow and Gym Leader Birch are the same person.
Okay.
Which, I mean, you can look at pictures of it later or whatever. For those of you at home.
He looks older?
He looks exactly the same, only older.
Okay.
So...
In gold.
Yes.
And silver.
Yes.
He looks older.
Yeah, way older. And the last thing is the Great Pokemon War, which is alluded to by Lieutenant Surge, that he fought. He fought in the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm getting at?
No, but I just remember the Great Pokemon War.
And the Great Pokemon War is between Team Instinct, Team Mystic, and Team Valor.
Okay.
Can you buy into that a little bit?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
Which
The war.
team was
So,
Lieutenant Surge
so
on?
it doesn't say. I would
Probably,
assume Instinct
probably Instinct.
because it's electric looking. And it goes
Well,
that
yeah, it's fucking
so
Zapdos.
yeah. So the war was between the three teams, and then Mystic and Valor. I mean, not Mystic and Valor. Valor and Instinct. Fuck, I keep saying it wrong. Mystic and Instinct. Mystic and Instinct team up to defeat Team Valor in this war because Valor's the ones that are super
So
competitive.
the two pussy teams.
Yes, that and
Because I believe, buddy, that we're both
we're both
strongly
Valor.
Team Valor.
Yeah, but we get defeated because
Bullshit.
because they team up, and it makes kind of because Team Valor's the super competitive, like fiery ones. I think Instinct are the ones that want like order, and then Team Mystic are all about like wisdom and shit like that.
Yeah,
So
they're hippies.
so then so fast forward a few years, Team Mystic are essentially the Pokemon professors now, and Team Instinct are the ones that created the modern versions of the gyms where it's not just dogfights, it's very like they have essentially created the Pokemon battles that we're used to now where it's turn-based and you're not just like beating the shit out of each other.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so then that battle system kind of plays into it too.
So now
where
that
you're both just fucking shooting attacks at each other.
Yes.
Whole time.
So now that I've laid out all of that evidence, how do you feel?
It's all pretty decent.
Like, is there
evidence.
anything that I said that was like, no, there's no fucking way that makes sense?
Not on that one. At first, it seemed like it until you finished.
Yeah, that's why I
But-
was like, let me finish, Cat.
Yeah. It seems viable, but until it's proven.
Until it's proven. But yeah, I mean that's all I have for
All
this
right.
for this week.
Well, no, you don't.
What else do I have?
Dragon Ball Super.
Dragon Ball Super is coming out on January 7th, Toonami at 11:30 p.m. I will 100% be watching it. Jared's already seen it. I'm assuming he'll be watching the dub as well.
I haven't seen all of it.
Jared's not even talking into the microphone, so he said he has not seen all of it. But yeah, I'm super stoked to watch it. And that's about all we have this week, unless Jared has anything else to say. As he wanders back to the microphone here.
My phone was on 3%. That's all I have to say. No. Dragon Ball Super is coming out. I'm extremely excited. I've been watching it subtitled. The series isn't even over yet. But I think there's probably only like 30 some episodes left. You guys can watch it on Crunchyroll. Is out now, subtitled on Crunchyroll. So if you have a Crunchyroll subscription, you can watch the subtitled version. Toonami will be airing. Buddy probably already said all this, but
The dub.
and I'm going to be watching the dub as well, and we'll be talking about each episode every week on the
sure.
podcast for sure, and I'll be able to maybe provide a little bit of insight into the future on it.
But don't give it away.
I
for
won't
me.
give it away, but I'll like kind of do one of those things where it's just like, oh, you'll see how this, like,
Yeah.
you'll see how this matters in a few episodes.
But do you think they're gonna cut a lot of shit out?
No, it's on.
It's
Toonami is on late nights now.
well, I mean, like is there any filler in this that's like complete
Yeah,
bullshit?
there's some filler, but it's all like one episode.
It's
like,
all
kinda
worth. Is
weird
it
filler.
worth filler? Like it's not like Dragon Ball
don't-
Z where some were stupid.
What's a stupid Dragon Ball
I
Z
mean,
filler
off
for you?
the top of my, I mean, some of the Garlic Jr. stuff. The only
Oh yeah, that's kind of lame. There's one that comes to mind. It's like a 3-episode stretch, so like it's not that bad, but it's only like 2 or 3 episodes where they go to this planet and get this they release like this kind of like water that like is an organic life form that like everything that it envelops, like, so it'll like come around you. It's basically like a slime, and it'll like wrap itself around you,
I vaguely remember this, I think.
and it would become a clone of you. Like it would make a clone of you that had all of your powers, like literally an absolute clone of you that's like knew your personality, your brain, your thoughts, and all your powers, all your moves, everything. And so what happens is that, and it's not even really filler, because I think that something that happens and it comes into play in the next saga. But Goten and Trunks end up on this island, or on this planet, and the ooze thing kind of like overpowers them, and so Bulma sends Vegeta up there to like kind of get them back. And so Vegeta shows up, and he ends up getting fucking grabbed by this fucking goo shit. And what happens is that once it takes you, your body starts to fade, like you start to like disappear. So Vegeta's dying, and he can't really even fight the thing now because he's disappearing. And so Goku, of course, has to come up and fight the fucking slime Vegeta. And that filler saga was kind of dumb, like kind of weird and stupid. But other than that,
but I think on an ending note to this podcast is that we can both agree that the filler episode where they get their licenses is the best episode of the original series.
In the original Dragon Ball Z series. But there's some good ones. There's some good fillers in this one too. Vegeta, and I believe in the second episode, has to take Bulma and Trunks to like a vacation island or some shit like that. And so
Vacation Island, I want to go.
Vegeta's like vacation thing, and it's super funny episode, and they're flying their ship to the island for their vacation. Vegeta's just standing out on the top of the ship. He's not even riding in it, just standing out there with his arms crossed. They go underwater, and he still just holds his posture. He gets like a squid on his face and shit. It's weird. It's stupid, but it's good. Dragon Ball Super is good. I can't wait to
watch the dub.
And
I can't wait
hear
either.
my voice actors again.
Yeah. Should be really good. But that's about all we have for this week.
Like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter.
Do all that shit. And this is Buddy the Bruiser signing out.
This is Dynamite Jared signing off. See you guys next week.